because, again, when we don't have the same reach, we rely on basically patriotic people, not just to be consumers of information, but to be force multipliers and to help propagate it so that this information gets out there. And ultimately, we rely on a critical mass who are going to say, these are not gun laws. These are intolerable acts. We will defy. Ultimately, we will resist. And I'm like you. I'm not a revolutionary. I would just as soon, go out on the porch, have a nice Maduro cigar and a couple fingers of the good stuff in the evening, and maybe watch, Sons of Anarchy on Netflix or something like that.
But these are radicals enslaving us, so as men and as humans, we have an instinct to say no to it. And I think they've really miscalculated because the awakening is accelerating, but they are coming. And as you said, David, I pray every day they're not stupid enough to try to start a hot war with American gun owners, because they hate the military, they hate police, they hate the general public. They think we're all just going to kill each other, and that's not the way this is going to go. And they'll find out, like the Nazis and the communists and everybody else, that we're going to end up basically tracking them down. We're going to have our own Nuremberg trials, and they're going to end up being brought to justice. They're not going to get away with this.
Yeah, and again, I'm not going to start anything with anyone. I simply want to live my life and be left in peace to live my life in freedom and enjoying the blessings of liberty, which were supposed to be secured to us and our posterity by the preamble of the Constitution and the laws and the powers that it authorizes.
Absolutely. David Codrea, I want to have you back up in the near future. Thank you for your defense of the Second Amendment that protects all the rest. God bless you.
Thank you.
We'll be back, folks, with more news. Stay with us. The conniption fit, the hysterical running around in circles screaming that if government and corporations don't spy on everything we do and what we eat and what books we read and record every one of our phone calls, that vicious, horrible Al-Qaeda people will crawl out from underneath the table and bite us on the feet. And I'm making a joke about the threat of Islamic terrorism. The point is, the West is openly funding the whole thing. Now that's been admitted. And so you wonder, how can they have Marco Rubio and John McCain and Obama get up on television and say there is no domestic spying, it's a conspiracy theory? How can you have that when it's known it's going on? Back when they thought we were all afraid, in the New York Times in 2002, 3, 4, 5, they admitted the whole thing. Petraeus just 3 years ago admitted it all. Clapper gets up and goes, we do not collect any data, period, inside the U.S. They want to excuse us? Because the lie was just so over the top. How do they do it? Well, this piece aired on Friday's Nightly News. This is not scripted. These are not actors. My son, Rex Jones, went out, talked about 20-something people. This is just part one. We're going to show all the people. And he went out, and every one of them didn't know what the TPP was. But some would say you're a conspiracy theorist, because that's what they've heard. If someone warns you about government corruption, it must just be a delusional theory. And you look in the eyes of these people. These are trendies down by the University of Texas. They don't know how to find their butt with both hands. I mean, they don't know what country they're in, what planet they're on. Here's the clip.
What do you think the TPP is?
TTP?
No, what is TTP?
The VPP?
The what?
TPP.
I have no idea.
Nope. I have no idea what that is.
I ain't got a clue.
I have no idea.
Do any of y'all know what the heck the TPP is?
TPP?
Any of y'all?
No. No.
Nobody knows what this is.
I have no idea. The toilet paper products.
The Texas Petroleum people?
The terrorist group? I don't know.
And my name is the WWE Thunderstruck Roller Coaster. God bless you.
Words of wisdom.
I would honestly have no idea.
Well, it gives information and entertaining. Well, I don't know exactly the words in English.
And that's what we call guessing.
Probably some Congress thing about homeless men.
Tyrannical people in power.
Actually pretty close. Actually pretty darn close.
Toilet paper.
The TPP, or the Trans-Pacific Partnership.
Trans what?
Trans-Pacific Partnership is a alliance of corporate global businesses that will then be able to, in any of the three segments, Asian, Pacific, European, or American, will be able to bypass any or all of the laws and rules in that place and be able to do away with currency and due process. What do you think about that?
Reminds me of what China does with their free market zones.
I would definitely have to hear a lot more information because this sounds a lot like a bit of conspiracy theory to me.
I think it sounds a little bit far-fetched.
I'm being totally honest, I just don't care right now. Is that bad? Like, I was just so unprepared for this.
I think that's awesome, dude. Actually, yeah, I think it's awesome.
Why?
I mean, because we need people like that, I guess, yeah.
I literally have no clue. I haven't watched the news in a while, man.
Okay, well, there you have it. He hasn't watched news. None of us have. We just vote for Obama and pray that he doesn't smite us with his mighty hand of vengeance.
My first question for you is, which party do you support?
Third party libertarian.
All right, the full report's on Infowars.com. Obviously, now that we've got him, other things have been breaking. But one of the things I wanted to bring up with him is actually in a list of stuff he sent me. And that's the lay of the land in the media and where things are today and what the media is going to look like in the future. One thing's for sure, there's a lot of new media. A lot of it is exploding. A lot of it is growing. Some of the old stars of the new media aren't as big as they were. Some are bigger. But what we know is dinosaur broadcast TV, cable TV, newspapers are in trouble. And it's not just because of the format or even the, quote, competition. It's that they won't even compete. You tune into CNBC or MSNBC, and they got big expensive sets and big budgets, but it's all these political hacks from both parties that have given themselves shows. Not because they were talented in the media or good journalists, but because they were somebody's chief of staff. So maybe they can go home and tell mom, hey, look, I'm on TV, but everybody can be on TV today. So it really does come down to what is the most informative, what is the most interesting, who's been the most accurate in the past. I'll tell you, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com, all of our media systems grow on average at about 30–40% a year. That's an exponential growth curve. But then Alexa.com, an Amazon company, and WorldNet Daily wrote about this 7 months ago when it started, just delisted every libertarian or conservative site out there and just cut our ratings by 80%, even though Google Analytics and all of our systems, we showed these side by side, show us going up. They just lowered us, and then every socialist, fake liberal thing was skyrocketed on the same day. The same day, October 1st, 2014. So they're going to play games. It's come out that Nielsen has been caught cooking the ratings for MSNBC and CNN. It won't matter. Your sponsors won't get a response. Let me explain something to our enemies. So I know you live in your own world. Our advertisers don't buy advertising off of Arbitron, even though we're on stations that are, you know, our Arbitron folks. We're on commercial stations as well. I'm kind of have a leg in both worlds. And they don't buy it from Nielsen's or other ad agencies. We have some ad agency buys, but that's just because they know about results. Results is what gets people to advertise. Results. There's a reason you're all going bankrupt and are profit loss divisions. It's because you're like a dead animal. People want to just get you in the ditch. They don't want you in the living room. They want to bury you and forget you. Flush you down the toilet like a rotting goldfish. So keep it up. Keep lying. Keep cheating. Keep doing it. That's my view on it. We're going to get his take on that. Bilderberg, the current state of police in the community, I want to get his take on it. I want to talk about what my view is on it and a lot more. So Anthony of the Opie and Anthony Show, AnthonyCumia.com, thank you for coming on the broadcast today. I've thrown a lot of stuff out there. You're welcome, though, to just wild card any other subject you want to bring up. The NSA, Rand Paul, whatever you want to cover.
I love it. But I think first and foremost, you should know I am not with the Opie and Anthony show anymore.
Well, I knew you had your own big show. I can't keep track of all this stuff.
I was summarily dismissed for some tweets that I made back in last July.
Well, I apologize. It just shows I don't pay attention to a lot of entertainment stuff. But I like your show because you do cover some serious stuff. In fact, I've been on your show then.
Yes, that's what
I've been on theirs too, yeah.
We're on this show, and I got to say, I was talking about the media and the state of the media today. The fact that years ago, I've been in broadcasting for a while, and when people brought up Alex Jones, you'd get that, oh, that guy, oh, he talks about this and conspiracies and that. And I think the proof is in the pudding, as they say. A lot of what you talked about over the years has absolutely come to fruition, and that is the results that I think make people go, oh, so the mainstream media is full of crap. I do have to go to some of these, what people would consider fringe broadcasters, to actually get the truth. And to see people going over to alternative type media and news shows is a glimmer of hope, I think, that we can look at. Because when I watch MSNBC and even Fox, who I have a lot of friends over there at Fox, and I do some of the shows over there every so often, but to watch that and see what they're shoveling to the public, it's disgraceful. But the technology these days allowing a lot of people that in the past wouldn't have that opportunity to do a news broadcast and put the truth out to people. And you've been doing it for years, very well, I must say. Is that light at the end of the tunnel? I think that we're getting that maybe people, when they're informed and getting facts and actually able to make up their own minds about what they're hearing, not based on the truckload of manure that the mainstream media gives us, there might be hope for the future.
And I apologize for getting all the shows confused. I know you've been doing a whole bunch of shows for years. In fact, you were syndicated on terrestrial radio, one of the most popular morning shows for a long time, even giving Howard Stern a run for his money. But then you ran into the FCC and got shut down just like he did.
Yeah.
What do you think of the FCC and its secret plan and power grabbing the internet now?
Well, yeah, I think they've left broadcasting in their wake now. They were the police of broadcasting for quite a while. We had run-ins with them. A lot of personality radio hosts had run-ins with the FCC. That was the big fear we had. Oh, my God, are we going to get a complaint? Did we say anything against FCC regulations? Well, that's gone. The people that real broadcasters in what they call real radio are afraid of now is the public, is the Twitters and Facebooks and Instagrams and things that people will post that say, oh, my God, you've offended people. You've said something bad. The FCC's a joke now. No one breaks the FCC rules. They don't even file complaints anymore for obscene language and such. They've gone on to bigger and better things. Yes, the internet. We talked about net neutrality and how, don't worry, this is just to keep everything fair. Whenever a government agency jumps in to keep something fair, you know you are getting screwed. And if you think for a second, as with broadcasting, initially the FCC was brought in to maintain frequencies and power of the stations, is the transmitter within legal parameters, and then all of a sudden they start going, well, maybe we should start looking at content and what should or shouldn't go over our airwaves. If people don't think that that's what they'll do with the internet, they're insane, blind, and do not see what their whole program has been in the past.
Well, what about Chris Pratt, the actor, had to come out and apologize because feminist groups complained that the new Jurassic Park movie had traditional gender roles and showed a man as a hero. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed every new movie, the men are bad, the women are the heroes. And look, I don't care if you put women in hero roles, Sigourney Weaver, whatever. Everybody knows that women and men want to go watch men as action heroes. It's always been that way. So it's this attempt to just muscle in and take over reality. That doesn't sound liberal to me. It sounds totalitarian. And then he rolled over and prostrated himself, apologizing that he showed a man in a good role. I mean, what planet are we on here?
The apology is going to be to the 2000s, 2000 teens is going to be what the hula hoop and pet rock were to the 70s and whatnot. I hope someday we look back and think how ridiculous all of these apologies were when they were happening. Yes, I've seen preemptive apologies where someone thinking someone